Last week, Sony finally lifted the lid on the technical details of their next generation hardware, the PlayStation 5. It may not have been the presentation many were expecting, but it was still a milestone moment for the company. The PlayStation 5 is coming, and it's shaping up to be a beefy upgrade compared to the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. But what is a console generation without a little bit of rivalry between competitors? Over in the green corner, Microsoft have also been drip feeding information about their upcoming next-gen system, the Xbox Series X. Microsoft's approach to unveiling the Series X has been considerably different to that of Sony's, with the company being very forthright about the system's specifications, its software, its games, and its physical design. At this stage, it's fair to say that we know more about the Series X than we do about the PlayStation 5, but that doesn't mean we don't know enough information to start making some informed comparisons between the two. Hello, I'm Liam from PushSquare, and this is everything we know so far about the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series X.
Fight!
I think it's fair to say that we're in a very good place when it comes to next-gen consoles. Both systems are primed to deliver a true generational leap thanks to a huge amount of improvements over their predecessors. Sony and Microsoft may be approaching the next generation in slightly different ways, but both systems are arriving at largely the same location. This new pair of consoles will play host to more complex simulations, improved visuals, and lightning-quick loading times. As we move out of this current generation, Sony are the clear winners. The PlayStation 4 has sold substantially more than the Xbox One, with a recent report claiming that the company has shipped 68 million more units than Microsoft have in the same time period. Finding themselves in the same position Sony were in towards the end of the PlayStation 3's life cycle, Microsoft have come storming out of the gate this time around, speaking clearly about the core features of their new system via sporadic live streams and random news drops. But while Microsoft are more than happy to talk about the Series X, Sony have remained uncharacteristically quiet when it comes to the PlayStation 5, save for a few interviews for Wired in 2019 and their recent Road to PS5 presentation. It seems likely that, due to the current global situation, Sony's original plans for revealing the system have been put on hold for the time being. No matter how these consoles are eventually unveiled to the public, there's one thing we can bet some money on. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will launch holiday 2020, current global situation depending, of course. So let's start this comparison with the hardware. Both systems feature components that are largely the same. Both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 contain 16GB of RAM, a graphics card with a custom RDNA 2 architecture, a custom SSD storage solution, and an 8-core processor. Both systems' GPUs are capable of supporting hardware-accelerated ray tracing. Ray tracing is the big new feature for next gen and has been possible on PC for around 2 years now thanks to modern graphics cards. Ray tracing allows developers to enhance their games with realistic reflections alongside improved lighting and shadow effects. Although we've yet to see this technology in action on a PlayStation 5, Microsoft have recently demonstrated these next-gen effects via a tech demo for both Gears of War 5 and Minecraft. Minecraft, with its simplistic textures and blotty graphics, looks surprisingly gorgeous when lit up by ray tracing powered lighting effects, and serves as a great example of the possibilities this exciting new technology offers developers moving forward. Both systems will potentially see huge jumps in terms of graphics, with these brand new GPUs capable of rendering bigger and more complex worlds that feel truly alive, especially when compared to those found on current consoles. There are, of course, some key differences between the two systems. When it comes to CPU speeds and GPU performance, the Xbox Series X is the slightly more powerful system of the two. Its CPU has a clock speed of 3.8 GHz, and its GPU has 12 teraflops of graphics processing power. Compared to the PlayStation 5's variable 3.5 GHz and 10.28 teraflops, it appears, on paper, that the Series X is the more powerful system of the two. While both consoles will feature custom SSD storage solutions, with both companies looking to practically eliminate load times moving forward, it appears the PlayStation 5 may have the edge over Microsoft in this department. In the recently broadcast Road to PlayStation 5 presentation, lead system architect Mark Cerny spoke at length about the benefits of their custom SSD, claiming that it will result in instantaneous load times, smaller file sizes, and bigger games thanks to its numerous technical benefits. The PlayStation 5 will come included with a 825GB SSD, while the Series X will come with a 1TB SSD. If you're looking to upgrade your Series X's storage capacity, you'll have to purchase a proprietary C-Date expansion card, which will give you an extra 1TB to play around with. However, Sony was keen to stress that the PlayStation 5 can be upgraded via any consumer available SSD that matches the same specs as Sony's custom-built drive. Setting the PlayStation 5 apart is its Tempest audio chip, an aspect of the hardware dedicated to rendering next-generation 3D audio. Primarily designed for headphone users, the tech allows developers to simulate hundreds of sound sources simultaneously. Sony emphasized the chip's ability to give players a greater sense of in-game presence. Although this may be beneficial to regular players, this could prove revolutionary for VR games, where increasing a sense of presence is far more important for developers than when they are creating traditional TV-based experiences. Either way, Sony's commitment to audio is a refreshing stance when it comes to new features for the PlayStation 5. So what does this all mean? Well, at this stage it feels a bit too early to say. These core components are only one piece of a much larger puzzle. It all comes down to how efficiently they work together as a single unit. That is where the true power of these new systems lie. Indeed, Mark Cerny himself expressed that the company approached the challenge of upgrading the GPU for next gen not as a teraflop problem, but from a completely different angle, further highlighting how basic numerical comparisons don't paint an accurate picture of what these consoles are truly capable of. Based on the information we have currently, it feels safe to say that the PlayStation 5 is built for speed, whereas the Series X is built for power. But both are largely similar in terms of core feature sets. The true test, as always, will be how individual games, especially multi-platform releases, look and perform across both systems. Either way, both consoles are substantially more powerful than their predecessors, and that fact alone is a very exciting thing indeed. Alright, it's time to talk about games. We don't know a huge amount about what games will be coming to the PlayStation 5. At the time of recording, the only confirmed PlayStation 5 console exclusive is multiplayer looter slasher Godfall, but there are still plenty of multi-platform titles coming to the system, such as Watch Dogs Legion and Dying Light 2. Currently, we have no idea what the majority of Sony's first-party studios are working on either. No doubt when the time comes for Sony to fully reveal their next-gen plans, we'll see what Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studio, Insomniac and Guerrilla have all been working on. In terms of backwards compatibility, Sony have confirmed that the PlayStation 5 will be fully compatible with the majority of the PlayStation 4's 4,000 title-strong catalogue of games. Some of these titles will even run at, quote, a boosted frequency on PlayStation 5 so that they can benefit from higher or more stable frame rates and potentially higher resolutions. Bloodborne in 4K at 60 frames per second, anyone? Backwards compatibility with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 titles seems increasingly unlikely as time goes on. But hey, we can always hold out hope. Also, don't shut out your PSVR headsets just yet, as the PlayStation 5 will fully support the hardware. If you're interested in finding out more, make sure to check out our dedicated video all about PlayStation 5 games over on the channel. By comparison, we know a lot more about the types of games we can expect on the Xbox Series X. A highly touted feature of the Series X is backwards compatibility. Microsoft have done a lot of work to establish backwards compatibility as a core part of their product offering for a long time now, and the Series X is no exception. The console will be fully compatible with every Xbox One title straight out of the box, including all Xbox 360 and original Xbox titles that are currently playable on the Xbox One. That's 3 generations of Xbox games playable on day one. Microsoft have also confirmed that they are aiming to run select Xbox One titles at 4K 60 frames per second or 1080p 120 frames per second, with some additional improvements such as HDR. Perhaps the best feature of the Series X, however, is an initiative Microsoft are calling Smart Delivery. Smart Delivery allows players to buy one copy of a game and play it on either their Xbox One or Series X console, with next-gen improvements added automatically if required. CD Projekt Red's highly anticipated title, Cyberpunk 2077, has already been confirmed as being compatible with the program, a huge debt for the company. We can only hope that Sony replicates this extremely consumer-friendly idea when it comes to moving our libraries over to the PlayStation 5. 5. We don't know a huge amount about the PlayStation 5's UI, but Mark Cerny revealed to Wired last year that the system will come included with a number of impressive new system features. The PlayStation 5 will allow players to install and download specific elements of a game, such as just its multiplayer or its single-player content, in order to save space. Cerny also hinted that the UI will display game-level options from the home screen, allowing players to quickly jump into specific single-player missions or multiplayer playlists before they even boot up the game. Again, we're not entirely clued up on the Series X's UI either, but one element Microsoft have focused on recently is its Twit Resume feature. A remarkable tech demo was recently released which showed a player jumping between multiple games one after another, the games resuming from the exact spot the player suspended them at, with only a 5 to 6 second long loading time in between. It seems like this feature is possible thanks to the system's custom SSD, so it wouldn't be a ridiculous assumption to think that the PlayStation 5 may offer a very similar piece of functionality itself. The Xbox Series X controller looks largely similar to the Xbox One's pad, but comes with a number of fan-requested changes, such as a dedicated share button, a revamped hybrid D-pad, and a slightly altered form factor. The console will also use a dynamic latency input, which Microsoft hopes will eliminate input latency completely. All Xbox One controllers will be fully compatible with the Series X, and the Series X pad will also be compatible with the Xbox One and PC, which is pretty neat. The presumably named DualShock 5, on the other hand, will include haptic feedback functionality and adaptive triggers, allowing players to feel texture and resistance through their controllers when playing next-generation games. There's no word on whether or not PlayStation 4 controllers will be compatible with the PlayStation 5, but seeing as though the DualShock 5 will use USB Type-C compared to last generation's USB Type-A, it seems unlikely at this stage. We don't know what the PlayStation 5 looks like just yet, but we've known what the Xbox Series X looks like for a while now. Pow! Monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey. So how much will both of these consoles cost? Again, there's no word from either company just yet, but it seems likely that both consoles will retail between £450 and £500. The Xbox Series X's slightly more powerful hardware could result in that system retailing for slightly more, however. So, there we have it. Everything we know so far about the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series X. Which system will you be buying next generation? Let us know in the comments below. For the latest information about the PlayStation 5, make sure to keep your eye on our website. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe to Push Square for everything PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching.